What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Vogel Ventures for part two of the big move. And right now, we're going to talk about the logistics side of packing up the house and getting the trailer at the house, and how did it get to Costa Rica, and what did we bring with us?
Basically, the U.S. side of the move.
Yes, absolutely. Tiffany, do you want to get us started?
Yeah. So, a lot of people asked us, why did you land on Costa Rica? And it really came down to some friendships we've made over the years. We had this amazing painting crew that we used in our rental property business, and they were Costa Rican.
Yeah.
And Eric just talked with them a lot. And we got this inkling that we wanted to go to a Spanish speaking country. It was kind of down to Belize and Costa Rica. And they kind of convinced Eric in particular that Costa Rica was the place to go. And then I came on a retreat, visited, loved it, and kind of the rest was history from there.
Yeah. Our friends, Leo and Warner, have been part of our real estate development crew or real estate investing crew for almost 10 years. And Leo's always been such a good guy, very honest, very fair.
But Warner wasn't.
And Warner was too. I just didn't actually know
I
Warner
know.
all that much at first.
You worked mostly with Leo over the years.
And every now and then I would just mention to Leo, dude, when you go to Costa Rica, send me a video or send me a picture. I'd like to see where you live down there. And he would always send me these pictures and videos. I'm like, man, that's amazing. I'd love to live there. He's like, do it. Just do it. And then, like Tiffany said, we talked about it and talked about it. And there's this certain element, like, sure, there are like things that led to the decision that are black and white. We wanted XYZ for our family. We wanted our kids to be cultured and to speak more than one language. We want to experience other cultures and all of this. But there are some elements to the decision that are without words.
Yeah.
It's a feeling. And getting here and arriving here in Costa Rica, the feeling is being fulfilled. And it's really hard to explain what that is. And I don't know if it's the salt air, or
I mean, you just look out at the mountains
people
over the water. It's kind of like, it's just a vibe. I don't know.
it is, and it's beautiful down here, and the people are beautiful.
And it's a slower pace, which is something I want to talk about on another video. But
yeah, it's just amazing.
Yeah. So
anyways,
we chatted with them, and we decided Costa Rica was the place. We did our research. We watched hours and hours of YouTube, and finally settled on this part of the country because it's very expat heavy. We wanted to be able to speak English if we needed to. We wanted the boys in an English speaking school, which we'll do a whole video on the school and the plan there.
Exactly.
But we decided on this part of the country, and then it was just kind of, we got the house. Then it was, how do we get all of our stuff there?
Yeah. So I was talking to Leo and Warner. I was like, how do you guys ship stuff to Costa Rica? And they're like, we got a guy. I was like, oh, you got a guy. What does this guy do? This guy's he's a Tico. He's a Costa Rican. And he flies to America twice a year. And he buys semi-trucks and trailers so that he can send them to Costa Rica because he sells them and he has shipping business in Costa Rica.
So the short of it is, like, getting heavy machinery and things like that here is very expensive.
Yes.
Well, appliances are crazy expensive.
Yeah.
But Gustavo, our friend, gets big tractor trailers into the country.
Yeah.
And then can sell them for 10, 50x what he bought it for in the
Sometimes,
States.
yeah. Sometimes, yeah. So they said, if you're really serious about this, we can call Gustavo and get him lined up to bring a trailer to your house. And then you just fill it up and he takes it to Costa Rica. I was like, it can't be that simple. And it literally was that simple. The problem is that it was on Tico time. It was not on my time. It was not on Tiffany's time. It wasn't on anybody's time except Gustavo's. And Gustavo did not know his time.
Well, yeah, Gustavo also didn't speak English, so everything was going through Warner.
Yeah.
And it was like, the trailer's coming this day. Oh, nope, it's coming this day. It changed.
It was 3 weeks late, but 2 days early. But also 4 weeks late and 2 weeks early.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
So
it's just like, it's the wizard from the Lord of the Rings. It's Gandalf. A wizard is never late. He arrives precisely when he intends to.
Yes.
That was the trailer, and that was Gustavo.
And we were at Burger King, and we thought he was coming at 7 o'clock that night.
Yeah.
So we're like, cool, we'll go take the kids to get some dinner, and we'll go home. And then Eric gets a call and he's like, I'm at your house. And we're
Yeah.
like, oh shit. And then we get stuck in traffic and it was a whole thing. And we get there and he gets out of the truck and is just so happy.
He's like, hola, Pura Vida.
An American, I feel like, would have been so annoyed that
we weren't there.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was just,
But
he was chilling.
yeah.
He was happy.
So you guys get the trailer.
Yeah.
Where you need it.
Drive through my front yard, which was a big pain, but we made it anyways.
And I kept reminding you that you saved so much money
Yeah.
that fixing your yard was not that big of a deal.
And we'll talk a little bit about the price of everything at the end of this video, if you can remind me.
Okay.
But he gets the trailer parked and we figured out, and we spend the next 2 weeks trying to, because we think we have the trailer for about a month and a half before he's going to pick it up again. So I was like, you know what? Let's take 2 weeks to kind of inventory our house and figure out what is staying here and what is going on the trailer. And the reason that was an important part of the conversation is because our house in America was 3,500 square foot. Our house in Costa Rica is 1,500 square foot. We don't have enough room to bring everything.
And that we needed to make sure that we had stuff for the kids and ourselves to get us there. But we also didn't want to take too much on the airplane.
Yeah.
So it was just so much. I was walking around with a notebook of what do we plan to take? What do we need to get duplicates of so that we have in Costa Rica and in the States for the 2 or 3 months that we were still in the States? And then what was going? The kids have all worn the same clothes, but the baby doesn't need winter clothes. So I had to go through all of the 2T, the 3T, the 4T, and throw out all the winter clothes for all the kids. There was I probably did 6 passes of every room in the house of culling and getting rid of stuff. I think we had probably 15 contractor bags of clothes and things that went to Goodwill.
Yeah, and I filled up my dad's truck and your mom's car probably 10 times.
Yeah.
Of other stuff.
It was just,
they got donated.
We got rid of so much stuff. And then we get here and we're like, dang, we have so much stuff.
We should not have brought this much stuff. And realizing so quickly, America, the land of have and buy and fill up your damn house. It's so gross.
The thing is, we had closets in every bedroom plus 6 hall closets.
Yeah.
That just got filled with stuff. And we had to consolidate it down.
Yeah.
So what I realized when we got here is we needed a cover for the sink drain in the kitchen. And here you would go buy one. In America, you go on Amazon and you get a 6-pack. Why the hell do you need 6 of them? You really don't.
You need one.
But there was so much stuff that we just had duplicates of.
Yeah.
And I bought a lot of stuff for the kids, their shampoo, their toothpaste, things like that, to help make the transition easier. So a lot of my work was, what can I do to emotionally help the kids feel like they're at home by having these things?
So we spent those 2 weeks planning to pack the trailer.
Yeah.
And one day I just had this feeling. I was like, we need to start loading. I feel like I need to just start loading. And so that day I took the couch apart from the living room and I just started taking furniture apart and putting it on the porch and started moving it.
And I was so upset.
Yeah. I just started taking everything apart and I was like, I feel like we got to just get this thing loaded. And then I get a call from Warner. He said, hey, Gustavo can either come next week or in 2 months.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, what's going on? Why that? He's like, Holy Week is happening in Costa Rica and he plans to be in Costa Rica for Holy Week and he's not coming back for XYZ days or months. And I was like, oh, he needs to come get it next week because we need it there before we get there. So we got to make this happen. And I told Tiffany, I was like, he's coming next week. We had like 5 days to make it happen.
So we called on all the family that we could. And I mean, we had packed some stuff in boxes, but it was a mad dash.
It was crazy. It was absolutely nuts.
And there was stuff that we didn't make it on the trailer that we wish had, but it all worked out.
Yeah.
So we get the trailer. Loading was a shit show. Basically used the living room as a staging area. Thankfully, Eric got the plastic wrap and wrapped everything because otherwise our stuff would have been so damaged.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We used blankets where we needed to as well. The living room was a staging area. Everything went to the front porch, and then we loaded his dad's car up in the bed of the truck and then drove it to the trailer, and they would load it from the truck into the trailer. Because
the trailer bed was about 7 feet off the ground.
It was not a U-Haul easy lift.
No, it was crazy.
So the boys loved being able to run in the trailer and all of that. It was fun. But we also took 2 vehicles. So Eric had to measure how far he could pack the trailer, because you put all the stuff in first and then the vehicles last.
Because the vehicles have to come off the trailer whenever they're in Costa Rica, because they have to go through customs
And
and inspections and all of that. And so all of the stuff got loaded first and then the vehicles. And that kind of led us to, are we taking the vehicles? Do we need to? I don't know.
All of the gringos were like, I've never heard of anyone bringing a vehicle. It doesn't make sense because you have to pay all these taxes.
And the taxes is this ambiguous thing that people in Costa Rica that are expats just seem like they're afraid of it. It's like Pandora's box. Just don't even look at it. Don't think about it. Just sell your car in America or Canada or France, wherever you're coming from. Just sell it there and then buy down there.
And we could have. What we would have sold the cars for in America, we could have gotten a car here. But it was smaller, and
it wouldn't have been the right car for us.
Yeah.
We would have struggled.
Yeah. So we shipped both cars, and then we realized we don't really need the minivan. It's not really going to work well on the roads here, and we just don't really need it. So
the idea was, I'm going to import both cars, and I'm going to sell the minivan and hopefully make enough money to pay for all of the cost that it costs to all the cost of bringing everything.
Yeah.
And so bringing the 2012 Ford Explorer and the 2016 Toyota Sienna, we ended up paying right around $3,000 each in import taxes on each of those vehicles. The Toyota was a little bit more than the Ford, but roughly about $3,000 each on those. And that wasn't the end of the importation cost of the vehicles. So I have a lawyer in San Jose, and he said, your cars, yes, you've paid your import taxes, you've paid your custom taxes to bring them here, but now they have to be legalized to drive in Costa Rica.
So retitled.
Retitled, yes. And so he's like, you cannot sell them here unless they're legally registered here. All you've done is paid to get them here. It's okay. And so they go to my attorney's house. He actually has them unloaded and parked at his house.
Which your attorney is one of our friends' nephew?
He is related to Warner in some way.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
I think he's a nephew or a cousin, something along those lines.
And if you haven't heard this already, which you probably have if you're any interest in moving to Costa Rica, everything takes a lawyer. Everything takes a lawyer. Opening your power, setting up your power as an expat requires a lawyer. You need certain documentation that has to be stamped by a lawyer. So registering your car, you have to have a lawyer.
He was your primary lawyer for most of this, though.
Yes, he was, absolutely.
Yeah.
He helped us buy the house, and he more than helped on the cars because he had them in his possession.
Which the funny thing is, Eric gets a message and he's like, hey, I tinted your windows for you.
Yeah, he just messages me one day. He's like, hey, I had the windows tinted in your Explorer. You're going to want that. I was like, what? He's like, it was $65. You're fine. I was like,
and we were
what?
Laughing because our friend just got hers tinted for
$800.
Yeah, and we're like, oh, because we thought we were getting hit with a big bill, and
Yeah.
like, how dare he just decide to do that? But
Yeah.
it was actually really nice.
What I'm going to try to do is put on the screen all the costs that were associated with bringing both of the vehicles into the country. There's going to be some cost on the customs, and then the cost on what it cost me with Juan Luis, my attorney, because there is the registration, and then there is the annual DECRA emissions, essentially emissions. DECRA is your inspection. They check the depth of the tread on your tires. They check the emissions part of making sure you're not creating too much ozone or any ozone. They check your wipers, your blinkers, everything.
And some states in the U.S. do that as well.
Yeah.
But Georgia is not one of those. So
Right.
that was a little...
It was new for us. All in all, I ended up paying an extra, a little under $4,000 to get both cars fully registered and signed up in Costa Rica. So in total, we were right at $7,500 or so to import both cars and to get them up and running in Costa Rica.
Yeah. So...
And now we're going to sell the van for about $14,000 here. Yeah. And so 7 of that goes toward the importation of it all, and 7 of it goes toward what it costs for us to ship everything down here.
Which was pretty
Now,
close.
and shipping everything down here, it cost us right at, I believe, $9,000 to get Gustavo to bring us a trailer, us to fill it up, and for him to hand deliver it down here in Costa Rica.
Yeah. So...
And when he got it to our house in Costa Rica, he hired a bunch of people. And we used Eduardo, which is the person that was essentially attached to the house.
Yeah, so Judy, who we bought the house from, had Eduardo and Ivania for the house for half a day every Thursday to just help around the house.
Yep.
And we inherited them and love them.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They've been
They're
amazing.
family now.
Yeah. She's actually watching the kids right now for
Yep.
us. So
she's incredible. But Gustavo got with Eduardo. I put them in touch and I said, hey, Eduardo knows this town. He knows this community. If anyone can find people to help unpack all the stuff, it's Eduardo. And so Eduardo arranged a bunch of people to come, and our house is down a long, skinny driveway. And to get to that part of the house, you got to come off the main road a little bit and go down a little dirt road and then back on paved. But they couldn't get the semi truck down to the paved part by the solar, so they had to park the semi truck about a quarter mile
so
on the main road.
Same deal as loading it. Pickup truck.
So they had a pickup truck, and they pickup truck drove it all the way down the dirt road, all the way down the driveway into the house. They said it took them about 8 hours of constant back and forth of unloading that.
And the way they had put it into the house, it was just shit everywhere.
It was crazy. It was wild. They sent me a video of everything in the house, and I'm like, oh my God. I mean, it's in there. It's in there.
Yeah.
And then came the part where they're like, hey, buddy, you don't have electricity on down here. And so there's no way to leave a light on.
And your stuff might get stolen.
And it really looks like someone's going to steal all your stuff. And so I immediately was like, okay, we need power on. How do we get power turned on? So I contact my lawyer. He has to draft all these documents stating that Soraya can go turn on the power for us. But turning on power is not as simple as just filling out a sheet of paper. Power company has to go out and inspect your pole, but they only go out twice a week on Mondays and Thursdays. And they don't turn on the power the same day they do the inspection. So you have to get it inspected and then wait to see if it's approved or not. And then they have to either make the repairs or get it installed. And so it took about a week and a half to get power turned on. That was a learning process. And then they were like, even when the power's turned on, you either need cameras, you need someone there. And so I messaged Eduardo. I was like, Eduardo, how can we help? How can you help me? I need to make sure my stuff stays safe. He said, you know what? How long is it until you're here? I said, about 3 weeks. They said, I will keep your stuff safe. So he went in his motorcycle every single day to that property at certain hours of the day, very random, to make it known that someone is keeping watch over this property. And he kept everything locked. He kept everything safe. And then we get ready to move in, and we're like, Eduardo, we need the house painted on the inside, and we need all the earthquake damage repaired. And so he says, okay, let me work up a quote for you. Works up a quote. It was right at $2,200 to have the entire inside replastered. Basically, all the walls replastered and paint the entire inside of the house.
Yeah.
And so we got that done.
Yeah. So when we moved in, this will be another video.
Yep.
The process of getting unpacked. So it took a lot of risks. Like I told you earlier on the last video, giving Judy $5,000 was a huge risk because we could have lost that.
Yeah. What if we don't move forward? What if we change our mind? What if something happens in America and we can't leave? What? There was a lot of
this is
unknowns.
when all the Venezuela stuff was happening.
Yeah.
So we're like,
I got to stretch leg. Sorry.
Is that going to impact us in some way? Like,
yeah.
Oh, in this whole process, we signed everything over to Gustavo, the truck driver.
Yeah.
So
I signed the title. The American,
we did
the
not
Georgia
own
title.
our vehicles. We did not own our household possessions. It was probably a total of $40,000 or $50,000 worth of stuff.
Yeah,
that he totally could have just taken and sold.
Oh, he could have absolutely brought it into port, paid his own customs and whatnot fees, and sold it all. He could have.
But because we met him through our connection with Leo and Warner, we were comfortable taking that risk.
Yeah.
And just generally, I think we both just had trust that this is what we were meant to do. And if this move was not where God wanted us to go, that it would not have gone as well as it did.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we just trusted that it was going to work, and it did. I mean, we got all the stuff. The van is with the attorney now, working on getting it sold.
It should be sold this week.
So I tried to get insurance on the container because if the ship goes down, and this, I mean, same timeline as the Strait of Hormuz is happening and ships are going down. So it was a little nerve wracking.
It was.
But we put an air tag in the container. We were not able to get insurance because it wasn't professionally packed. So it was just a huge gamble. But having that air tag kind of gave us some level of security of Eric could check and see where it was. So we had more info of like, where is it? Was it in port? That kind of stuff.
Yeah. And whenever I would check it every day, and some days it would move a little bit, some days it wouldn't move at all. And then one day I was like, it looks like it's in the middle of the ocean. Okay, it has definitely left the port.
Either that or it's
And then
at the bottom of the ocean.
And then about 3 or 4 days later, I check again, and it's in Costa Rica, and I'm like, okay, perfect. I know where it is now.
It got here so much faster than we expected.
Oh my gosh,
too.
it was so quick. And they were like, can we take the stuff to the house? And I'm like, actually, no, because we told Judy she could stay a little longer. Let me message Judy. And they're like, you're racking up some port costs because every day that trailer stays in port, paying extra money. And I was like, okay, let me figure this out. So I had to contact Judy, and she actually left the house a lot sooner than we thought she did. So the house had been vacant for 3 weeks, and we didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I could have been working on the power and getting Eduardo painting and all that during that time.
Hindsight,
2020.
Also, at the same time, we're living our life in America.
Yeah.
Taking care of the kids. We're trying to
selling a house. I mean, I was selling Wakaxon at that time, and
you were trying to get our house ready to list.
Yeah.
Doing minor repairs there.
Yeah.
Trying to just keep up with day-to-day life. Trying to get the rentals all in a really good spot.
Yes.
Before we left, there was so much other stuff going on. It was very much throwing balls in the air, and you're juggling
Yes.
the most immediate urgent thing, and then you throw it in the air and take on the next thing.
Yeah.
Just for probably 6 months.
Yeah, it was the idea of the rubber balls and the rocks. Or glass. I'm like throwing around this glass ball, and I got these 3 rubber balls. It's like, you know what? These rubber balls, sorry guys, you got to fall. I got to take care of this glass one. I'll put it down in a minute, but right now the glass one's most important.
And I mean, you really took the lead on the move, and my focus was just keeping our day-to-day life functioning and running.
Right.
And if that meant I did all the household stuff for a week or 2, that's what I did, just to keep.
Yeah, there was so much to try to figure out, but you know what? We made it.
Yeah.
We got here. We're here.
And once we got here, it was like such a relief.
Oh, I know.
Because it was like, one, we're not juggling as much back in the States as we are.
Do you want to talk a little bit of the logistics of flying out that morning, or do you want to save
that's
that for another video?
I think that's the next video, is
Okay.
from the flight to getting here and what
Yeah.
all that entailed. So
Right.
catch that on the next one.
Yeah, I think we covered most of that.
I think we did, yeah.
What I'll do is I'm probably going to post up a few pictures of the things throughout this video if I can. If I can't figure it out, they'll be here at the end. I'm not that technologically savvy on this stuff, but I'm going to do my best. Otherwise, y'all, if you have questions about the big move, about what does it look like for you to move to Costa Rica, how can you find a Gustavo, how can you find a Warner or a Leo, put those in the questions in the comments. I don't know exactly the answer, but that doesn't mean it's impossible, and it doesn't mean I can't help you. So, and if there's other questions you have about what is it like moving your whole family to Costa Rica with a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, an 11-month-old, and all your stuff, and your dog. You know, what does it look like to bring your dog? Which that'll be the next video. It'll be in there. Y'all, we're excited to bring to you these videos about what does it look like to leave America, come to Costa Rica, plant your feet in a new country where you don't speak their language, you don't know their customs, and you're trying to figure it out. Y'all, stay tuned on Vogel Ventures. We're going to walk you through what it's like.
And learn more about how Eric climbed the mango tree, and our friends call him the mucho gringo.
No, she calls me Mono Gringo, not Mono Congo. Mono Congo are the howler monkeys. Mono Gringo is
She did call you a Congo earlier.
a Congo?
Yeah.
She called me a monkey? Oh, a howler monkey?
Yeah.
Estoy Mono Gringo.
All right.
All right.
With that, we are out, and catch you on the next one.
Catch you on the next one. Pura Vida.